Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Inked Reader. Today I am filming a wrap-up and TBR for my graphic novel and manga for June. I decided to separate these from my books wrap-up just because of the sake of length of the videos that I was putting up, and also makes me easier for me to edit, but also a lot of people are not interested in one or the other, and if they are, they can just watch both. So what I'm going to do is going to start with my wrap-up, and then we're going to go into my exciting TBR because you'll see what I've done in terms of TBR from my books for June. So I decided to have a very exciting TBR when it comes down to my manga and graphic novel. Mostly manga, spoiler alert. So first of all, this month what I decided to do was picking up some shoujo volumes I'd purchased ages ago and never got around to reading in the end because that phase had passed, and I decided to pick them up and decide, do I want to continue the series? Do I want to get rid of them? Shoujo manga, it's not like they're not my cup of tea because I do enjoy them now and then, but I did notice a trend by going through these 5 volumes. So I'm gonna put them from my least enjoyable to the most enjoyable one for me personally. These are all over the place, I'm gonna show you properly, and by doing that I will also let you know which ones I'm getting rid of and which I'm gonna keep and continue on. I will start with the one that I didn't finish, which was Captive Hearts, and these didn't have anything wrong with it, but at the time this was the second to last one I've read, and I was so done in general with I don't know, not having fantasy plot in a sense. Although this is, I don't know, it's like a magic realism if you want. So you got the story of this girl and a boy. The girl she's part of this family that has basically cursed this other family of obeying everything they ask them to do, and so this boy, he's the last born of the family, and he has to, every time she asks him something, basically he has to obey, he's compelled to obey. And I did love another series by this author, so I don't know why I just couldn't, I was not in a mood for shoujo manga anymore at that point. It was a bit densely written, and it was like, really, I don't care, I'm so sorry. I thought this has nothing wrong though, I think it's literally me having been fed up at that point, me realizing what my taste is when it comes down to shoujo manga, or just not clicking with it. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with this. The art, the dialogues, it was cute. It was just something that I didn't want to push myself to finishing. So at the 7th place, so my least enjoyable read in terms of manga for this month was Beastmaster. This is the story of this girl. She loves animals, but they hate her until one day she meets this new boy that's joined the school, and he's very feral, he's very wild boy, and they just install this friendship. And I'm just gonna leave it there. This was a bit silly, but not in a way that made me smile, not in a way that I enjoyed. Did notice a trend when it comes down to my enjoyment of shoujo manga, apart from Nana, because Nana I love, but apart from that and a couple of other series, I honestly tend to don't like shoujo manga unless there is a fantasy element to them. So if it's just contemporary, as it is with these, I tend to struggle a bit more in enjoying them. And I thought at the beginning that this was fantasy, and then this guy, because of him smelling blood and getting feral, was fantasy or like urban fantasy, whether. But so far from this volume, I don't think it is. I might be wrong. I think these are just 2-volume series, but I'm not continuing on. And honestly, the things like the adventures or the things that happened to these 2 characters were just a bit dumb for me, and I just rolled my eyes a lot. It was like, really? That's how you move forward your plot? So yeah, not continuing on. Getting rid of that, I gave it 2 stars. And number 6, we have Demon Love Spell. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the art of Beastmaster. Let me just show you very quickly. Art. So Demon Love Spell, the premise of this, basically you've got this girl, she's a shrine maiden, but she is not very good at her job, and she's not very good at banishing demons until in school this handsome boy arrives. He is a kind of a demon that sucks the love and passion from girls in order to feed himself. So he gets to her high school, breaks a lot of hearts, and she decides to try and tame him, basically. Now this one I'm also getting rid of because I kind of debated for a second, then like, no, I don't care. basically what really didn't work for me in this is that at one point our main protagonist, she has this carnal relationship with this demon, but at the same time he transforms in a child, so she keeps transforming him in a child, and then there is a part of where they're all cutie, oh you're so cute, you're a child, to a point of them having sex. And I've noticed that this is something that manga in general, shoujo manga at least, did. I've seen this before, this bloody love interest being a child or transforming back and forth from a child, and like, that's creepy, guys. Like I just, it's not for me. It's really not for me, this thing when I'm supposed to root for them to be together, but for the majority of the manga, or whether he's actually a child. So no, it doesn't work for me. So I'm getting rid of this. And I give it 3 stars. It wasn't horrible what happened, just it was a bit cringy for me. At number 4 we have Dengeki Daisy. This is one series that I will probably continue on. Because I don't think there's an anime. I was debating if, oh, maybe I can just watch the anime, but I don't think there is an anime, so I will need to continue with the series, I believe. This actually was the one that I didn't think I was gonna love. It was the one that I read for last. I was like, I don't know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the art, but actually once I opened it up, I did really enjoy it. So again, that's what happens when you're biased, you know? And this is the story of this girl. She loses her older brother, and her older brother leaves her with a number of one of his best friends and just say, when you need anything, you know, just contact Daisy and he's gonna support you. And so she starts with kind of relationship by text with Daisy, who is very protective of hers and helps her a lot. So that's one side of the story of her having this online relationship with a friend of her brother, but at the same time she damaged school property, and now she has to help the caretaker of the school kind of like to repay him, because she doesn't have the money to repay him. So he says, okay, then you can repay me by just doing jobs with me around the school. And they have this lovely hate relationship that it was just so funny. This hate to love, I guess, relationship with this caretaker, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just, so it's juicy and I want to see where this is going. I had fun. I really love the guy, so continue on. At number 3 I've put one that actually I debated between these and Dengeki Daisy. That could literally be, you know, interchangeable if you want. I just put these before just because these had that fantasy element and that inverted harem element that I really enjoy when it comes down to shoujo manga. This is Kiss of a Rose Princess. So this is the story of this girl. She has been given by her father a choker, and he says, never take your choker off, otherwise bad things will happen. And guess what? She loses her choker, and all of a sudden she finds herself with these 4 cards that if she kisses these cards, 4 knights will come to her rescue. So far we don't have the part of bad things will happen to you. Just, you know, you got cards with handsome boy coming out of the cards. Anyway, I really like the art, and I thought this was silly, but in a good way. It was silly, like, I don't know, it's a guilty pleasure read if you want. And this, it was absurd in a sense. I don't think this quality-wise, plot-wise, was one of the best, and it's probably not gonna be one of the best, but I think, again, it's one of those kind of silly, tropey, inverted harem manga that I just enjoy, so we'll continue on. The power, the magic system is very confusing though, so I ended up giving these actually 3.75, 4 stars, around that thing, but I think it's not too much of a lengthy series, so I'm gonna continue on. Number 2 and 1. You know what's coming, because it's been the same for the last 5 months, so you know what it is. So I've read 2 volumes of Berserk. I've done a whole video on my channel about the Golden Age. It's a bit more spoilery, and I take more time in delving into topics and themes of the series, the ones I love, the one I struggle to accept. And so now I'm just gonna be giving you like very general thoughts without getting too much details. So at number 2 I actually put volume 5 of the deluxe edition. Don't ask me which volumes this contains, because I don't know, but basically in volume 5 of the deluxe edition we finish the Golden Age arc and we start the Conviction arc. And I thought at the beginning this was one of the hardest volumes I had to read. There are very explicit rape scenes that were very grotesque, and I go into a lot of details on my I don't know, journey on accepting these themes in Berserk on the video. So if you're interested, you can check that out. And what ultimately made me give these 4 stars, 4.5 stars rather, but not a full 5 stars, is that from here we shift from the Golden Age arc, as I said, to the Conviction arc. And I found myself a bit disoriented. I think it's also a bit normal to be due to the intensity of the end of the Golden Age arc. But I just thought that we get the beginning of the Conviction arc. You got this storyline where basically, I will just put it like that. I know that people are gonna be mad, but whatever. But basically, you're throwing this story where the Guts has to fight big bugs, and I was like, really? After the intensity of the Golden Age arc, now we got with this kind of children bugs stuff, and it took me sometimes to get used to it. I didn't dislike that story arc, but I didn't love it. I thought it was a bit, I don't know, it didn't live up to that tension and Golden Age arc was. So I think I need to adjust. And also I was a bit emotionally unstable after finishing this. Well, I did give 5 stars, and it's gonna be in the first place, and this is all Golden Age arc. It's volume 4, so this is the volume that came before, of course, and this is basically the core of the Golden Age arc up to a point where you get to like the climax, the end, which is in the other volume that was upsetting. But in here I loved this so much. This is where the things get a bit more intense. There is also a lot of nakedness in a sense that bothers me, in a sense that we have one character called Casca, and she gets naked a lot, and to a certain degree I thought, get that girl a bloody shirt at one point, like we don't need these tits out all the time. So I started having some issues that I didn't have before. I don't know why, it just all of a sudden, maybe it was a lot, or maybe just bugged me the wrong way. So yeah, ultimately things, apart from that thing that I mentioned, but in his things got very intense, and I think, you know, it kind of leads then to the climax that we get in the volume number 5. So I do, though, a lot of my feelings I can't share because I would go into spoilers if I do, but I think I just want to say that it hurts because I understand the motivations of the characters. I do understand why Griffith is doing what he's doing, and that hurts even more in a sense. So yeah, 5 stars. I did have a bit more issues. I definitely, it's what that phase before I went into volume 5, and then I had kind of a discussion with myself. I was still in that phase of, I don't like how women necessarily are treated in these, like it's getting on my nerves, the amount of rape, the amount of nudity that Casca went through, as I said in a second ago. So and that phase when I was reading these, I was, should I give this 5 stars? But then at the end of the day, the core plot, it was a 5-star plot for me. And I think you can give 5 stars to something, you can love something while recognizing the issues and addressing them. So that's what I did in that video with a bit more spoilery, because it does make sense for me to go into more spoilery details in order to explain the grudges and the discussion I had within myself and then in the comments with other people. But yeah, it's Berserk, man. It hurts, it destroys you, and it makes you fall in love, and destroys you again. I filmed my TBR a couple of days before, after my haul, which is again linked up here down below. So past Eva here. Okay, actually I'm filming my TBR another day. So I am dressed differently, but that's okay. I kind of have an ambitious manga TBR, and I've just noticed that I didn't incorporate any graphic novel for this month, but that's okay. If I have time, I will read more than just the ones that are on my TBR. But I'm gonna read, first of all, I'm gonna continue on with The Flowers of Evil. This is a contemporary manga series. I think this again contains 3 volumes of a normal manga. This is an oldish series, and basically the premise of this is that in the first volume you have this boy who's obsessed with this girl in his class, and one day he steals something of her, and the tomboy of the class, a girl that's very much liked by everybody, sees him, starts to threaten him to, if you don't do what I want, I'm gonna expose you as a pervert. And it's literally a journey of him accepting to be a pervert. But I think set there, it's a bit more nuanced, the story. It's more fucked up, the story, than it's just saying, you know, it's a story of a pervert, because now that I've continued on with the volumes, I think the story takes turn and twists where actually he's probably the most sane in the group of people that's around him. That's saying something. Anyway, it's a very weird manga. I've discovered this by doing my reading the 10 most bizarre manga I've ever written challenge I did a couple of years ago, and I just wanted to continue on, show you some of the art. I really like the art. So I think I picked up the same page I had in my old. So yeah, I wanted to continue on and I found these, so I bought these and then I went to read it. Now the second one, I'm holding up the bind up beautiful editions, but truth is these are the volume, it's a fourth deluxe edition of this volume, but I don't own the second volume, which contains 3 normal volumes. So what I'm gonna do, because basically they are impossible to find, what I'm gonna do is read them online, and I'm just holding up these so you know what I'm talking about more or less. But it's the Kurosagi Corps Delivery Corps service, and I think this is from the same video, so I discovered this through the same video I discovered this. And this is basically, I love the first volume, the first deluxe edition of these, and this is the story of a group of people. They have some paranormal powers and they help people that have recently died to kind of find out either who killed them or resolve issues that they have going on before burying them. So they find corpses that are hidden, that they can feel corpses that have not, they've been killed or left there or whatever reason, and then, you know, they have not been traditionally taken to the hospital, died and gone to a morgue. So they find corpses around because of their powers, resolve issues, and it was nuts and I loved it. I thought it was such a cool idea, really loved each character in it. So I'm just reading a little bit of the art. It's a very adult manga series. So I managed to find the first deluxe edition, the third and the fourth one, and I think the fifth is coming out in July, so I'm gonna pre-order that. But unfortunately was unable to get my hands on the second deluxe edition of this. So if by any chance you know where I can find that, I'd be forever grateful, because I would like my collection to be completed and it's not. Then I am in the mood of some Ito, so today that I'm filming this I've got these. I felt like I wanted to read more Ito, and the one that I've got on my shelves I've not read, one of the two I've not read is this, which is Deserter. I think when I bought this and I hold this, I called this Desert. Anyway, let's just go ahead. I think this is another collection of short stories by Ito, so it's not one, it's a story collection, yes. So I'm gonna read these. I'm gonna show you some of the art if you don't know Ito. They're not father, but definitely one of the most prominent authors when it comes down to horror manga. Then I want to read the most recent purchases, because both are fairly new series that are being adapted, about to be adapted, or already out, in case of the other one, into anime series. So I want to read Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man, so I gather, is this boy, he's in a lot of debt, and because he's got a devil inside, so I guess he's got some powers or like some very scary weapons that comes out of his body. He basically is hired to kill things, people, and he gets money out of that so he can repay his debt. So I'm gonna read these. I'll try to show you these. And it's been recommended by a couple of people, so read that. And then the other very popular one is Spy Family. This is going all over booktube at the moment, and it's very popular, and this is about this spy who is tasked to infiltrate a high school, and in order to do so his boss says you have to have a fake family basically. So he makes up a family, and the mother is actually an assassin, and the daughter, the girl, is a telepath. I think madness ensues, and I heard this is heartwarming, funny, action-packed. It's very good in that sense, and it's an ongoing series, as I think it's Chainsaw Man. I believe so. I mean, no surprise. I'm gonna continue on with volume 6 of Berserk. This is a deluxe edition, so actually contains volumes 16 to 18. This is the Conviction arc, and it started in volume 5, which you've just seen in my wrap-up. So I'm gonna continue on with the conviction arc in these. I showed you the art before, so I'm not gonna bother because it's the same art, it's the same guy. And again, I've already said I've done a whole video speaking about the Golden Age arc, which is the arc that comes before this one. So I'm gonna continue on with volume 6. Finally, another recent purchase. It's Never Open It. This is a couple of months ago when I went to my book club. I picked this up from Waterstone, and this is a collection of 3 short stories, and it's, I don't know if it's like a graphic novel or a manga, whatever you want to call it. Basically, this is called the Taboo Trilogy because there are these 3 stories that basically are about these legends, or these taboo legends that are, I think, part of Japanese culture or something of the sort, like Urashima Taro, the Crane Wife, and Ikkyu-san. I'm butchering these names. But anyway, basically these are the reimagination of the author, or how these taboos, how these legends came to be, and they want to answer the questions of who set them up and why they're meant to be followed. So I don't know if, you know, it sounds like I loved the art when I picked it up, and I was just like, I need to purchase these and read these and hopefully love it. So that's my ambitious, because I got big books I have to read. Oh, that's my ambitious TBR. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Let me know what you thought about dividing these wrap-ups, if it's more convenient for you as well, if you prefer this way, or if you prefer like a huge video when I do my monthly wrap-up. So yeah, let me know, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!